So friends, before we come to the actual technical part of the webinar, we will invest some 10-15 minutes on understanding climate change and uncertainties associated with the agriculture, because it's important to understand why we are speaking about crop insurance. Why do we need crop insurance in present time? So when you speak about agriculture, certain uncertainties are always associated with it, because we depend on natural resources, on nature to practice agriculture. But in recent past, you will see, because of these climate changes, so many aberrations are there in terms of the environment in which we practice agriculture, and also because agriculture is becoming more and more commercial. So the degree of risk is going up. So to counter these things, we need to come up with some strategy, and crop insurance can be an important aspect of that. So if you broadly speak about risk associated with agriculture, there are different risks associated related to what kind of market is available, what is the kind of price. You actually will realize that finance is again an important aspect. As I mentioned in the last webinar, we discussed about the credit, because when you are making investment, when you are diversifying towards commercial agriculture, input application, adoption of technology, all these things will come into picture, and then access to finance is going to play an important role. Then human resources, again, some risks are associated with that, and then institutional, because from time to time you will find that government is coming up with different programs and policies. Mainly, you can easily understand if I give you an example of some export market. So suppose there is some change in the specifications as expected by the importing country, or maybe there is some restrictions in terms of the quantity or price when you are exporting some commodity from India. So there are institutional risks also associated with agriculture. But broadly, we will try to focus on the production risk, though we cannot look at these risks in isolation. But when you look at production component, you will find that it is depending so much on nature, and that's why in recent time, as I mentioned, that as far as this nature, climate change component is there, so many aberrations you will observe, and because of that, the degree of uncertainty will go up. So you need to come up with some strategy to counter the risk that is associated with your agriculture production. So we all know that in recent past, the average temperature is going up, and mainly because of the global warming which we are experiencing, of because of greenhouse gas emissions. And if you look at the last 100 years, you will find that the global temperature has increased, mean temperature has increased by 0.74 degrees Celsius. And this impact is relatively more in recent past. If you look at last 4 to 5 decades, you will find that every decade, the average temperature is going up by 0.10 degrees Celsius. And this increase in temperature will have its impact on so many other things. Say, for example, sea level will go up. So if you look at the sea level increase also at an average 1.8 millimeter per year, if you look for this 40-45 year period from 61 to 2003. And when your temperature is going up, or you are experiencing some sort of changes in the environment, you will find that the long summers are being experienced, and these long summers will have their impact on crops as well as on animal. So you will have increased viability in crop production due to increased droughts or floods. And studies suggest that 1% increase in temperature can reduce wheat production by 4 to 5 million tons. Though by adopting right kind of practices, we can reduce this loss, but still you will incur loss of 1 to 2 million tons. And if I speak about rice, so an increase of 2 degrees Celsius in temperature will lead to a decrease in rice yield by about 4.5 to 7.5 quintal per hectare. So we have to understand, and means whether it is related to uncertain rains or it is related to change in temperature. These are the things that we are experiencing quite often in agriculture. So because of these changes, we are experiencing certain uncertainties related to production, and that's why we need to come up with a sound strategy to counter that. So, if I speak about natural disaster, which will lead to crop variability, so you can have these natural disasters in the form of flood, drought, heat waves, extreme winds, storms, hurricanes, and all these will lead to some economic losses. According to a United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction report, during 98 to 2017, these losses were to the tune of 2908 billion USD. And 77% of these changes are because of climate related disasters. Indian government has also estimated, which suggests that annually we are losing 9 to 10 billion USD just because of adverse effect of climate change. So the environment in which we practice agriculture, that is very uncertain, volatile, and that will have impact on your production. And if it is so, because it's a commercial activity, you are making so much of investment, if you are not able to realize the return that you are expecting against the investment that you have made, it will be difficult to sustain financially and as well as in terms of production. So that's why it's very important to, when you are planning your production, it is very important to take all these factors into consideration. So as I mentioned, means we are observing weather disruptions in terms of change in temperature, precipitation, solar radiation, which will affect the agriculture ecosystem, including crops, livestock, land, and water. And as per estimates, by the end of this century, we are expecting a loss of 10 to 40% in crop production. So, uh, but what I'm trying to say here is that it's not something that in long run, of course, by the end of this century, what we are, but on year basis also we are exposed to certain kind of risk. So these erratic changes in weather condition impact our production level of animal also as much as 58%. And dairy breeds are relatively more vulnerable to heat stress than meat breed. So we have to take all these things into consideration. Just to give you an idea that we are speaking about, there are means deviations from what normally we should receive and what we actually are receiving, that may lead to sometime drought, sometime flood conditions, and what is the kind of impact. So if we speak about flood prone areas in India, 40 million hectare area is prone to flood as per RKVY-RAFTAAR 1980, and it can in some of the cases go up to 50 million hectare. And what is the annual affected area? It is something in the range of 7 million hectare. Annually, if we look at in terms of cropped area, it is roughly 400 million hectare, which comes to be 3%, broadly 3% of the net cropped area. So 3% of the net cropped area every year is get affected by floods. If I speak about annual average damage due to flood for this period of 1953 to 2018, so loss of life 1,654, loss of cattle life 6,18,000 plus, loss of houses 12 lakh, monetary damage more than 5,600 crore Indian rupees. So you can just understand the kind of impact or uncertainty or risk we are exposed to, mainly agriculture is exposed to. We are also, I have also compiled a few examples which will help you understand the intensity when we are saying, because many times when we are observing some event on news, we may not understand the impact of that. Say, for example, floods were experienced by Bihar in 2019. So 28 out of the 38 districts were affected. How many villages were affected? 1,846. And population wise, more than 1 crore people, and I think 10 crore is the total population of Bihar. So roughly every 10th person was affected because of this flood. So you can just have, or understand the kind of impact it will create on agriculture. Jammu Kashmir also experienced flood in 2014. The point I just want to highlight here is they received certain rainfalls during first week of the September 2014. What was the normal rainfall expected? 127 millimeter. How much actually was received? 4,271 millimeter. How many times in comparison to normal? 33 times. So this deviation can be of the extent. You were expecting something like 127 millimeter, but you experienced more than 4,000 plus millimeter, 33 times. How many villages affected? Almost 6,000, and that's around 750 villages remain submerged. Again, cause is, of course, there are geographical placement of this UT, then rapid urbanization, but climate change. But the thing for us, somebody who is practicing agriculture, is to understand the associated risk when we are practicing agriculture, because you are practicing agriculture in this environment only, which is subject to so much of variation, so much of risk. So whatever you are investing, is very important to safeguard that investment. Chennai, again, through this PPT also, I just want to highlight, you can understand what was normal rainfall expected during those 5 days and how much they actually expected, more than 10 times. So we have to understand these things, and this is what the kind of decline in food grain production because of drought. So flood is one, drought is also influencing our production. So it's not just some normal rainfall is expected, you are receiving more than that. It can be other way around also. Some rainfall is expected, but you actually are not receiving that rainfall. So you will find that because of from flood, if you take the other picture, you will consistently find that every year, roughly like from 5 million tons to 20 million tons, we are losing because of receiving less than normal rainfall. And in some of the cases, like 2002-3, which is the highest, this decline was to the tune of almost 39 million tons. That means more than 10% of otherwise what we are expecting to produce. Then cyclone is another area. If you look at Indian means placing, so India is world's 7th largest country in terms of area, with a coastline is stretch of 7,516 kilometer, and we are exposed to nearly 10% of the world tropical cyclones. At an average, 5 to 6 we are receiving or getting formed in Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea, and 2 to 3 out of these 5 to 6 are severe in nature. So that again is an issue. Then landslide is again an issue. Particularly, we are having this. We can expect this disturbance in 22 states and 2 union territories. And I have compiled one example of Malin landslide, which was experienced in a village in Maharashtra. So, so these are also the what you can say uncertainties associated with agriculture. So we have to take these things into care. In this slide, I have just compiled what are the kind of floods, cyclone, earthquake, landslide, heat wave we have, or avalanche experience during during 21-22. So this will give you an understanding that the kind of environment in which we practice agriculture, and agriculture you also understand is no more subsistence, it's commercial. We are making a lot of investment into it, and when you are making investment, you expect certain returns. If you are not able to realize those returns, it will become very difficult to sustain in that business or enterprise. So it's very important to take care of all these things when you are speaking of agriculture, because at one point of time when agriculture we were just speaking about production, then we started speaking about market, value addition, integration with international market. Now because we are practicing agriculture in a very, very uncertain environment, so to counter this risk, we have to come up with a strategy. So As I mentioned, that agriculture production has become more and more uncertain because of these changes that we are experiencing in climate, and farmers need to have a sound strategy to counter the economic losses expected because of these uncertainties. And crop insurance can play an important role, or can be an important part when you are planning a strategy to counter these uncertainties or risk associated with agriculture production. So this briefly was just to mm, provide you a kind of background. Why do we need crop insurance?
Okay. So, in this particular session, we'll look after what are the different risks that are prevalent in agriculture in India and how we can mitigate it through the crop insurance program that government of India is running. So you can see the agriculture risk related profile in India is very diverse. We have already seen in Challenge's presentation the drought, flood, cyclone, localized risk. Localized risk are the risks which are occurring at the one particular farm level or the individual farm level, like hailstorm, cloudburst, natural fire, inundation, even wild animal attack. While the other risks like drought, cyclones, floods, they are widespread. They are occurring at a very large area, and these both types of risks are really putting the agriculture, or it is putting a threat to the agriculture in terms of production, in terms of productivity, and as well as in terms of returns. Next. This is again a brief that how vulnerable our agriculture sector is with respect to this climatic aberrations. So disaster risk profile we have seen. So more than 50% of the cultivable area is again vulnerable to drought. We have seen the irrigation percentage in India is hardly 48%. Rest all the area is a rainfed area, and that too rainfed area again 50% of the cultivable area is vulnerable to droughts. Indian coastline is also prone to cyclones and tsunamis. So 75% of that is also impacted, and the 12% of the land is prone to flood and the river erosions, the hilly areas at the risk of landslide and avalanche. So this is again the broad. So in this context, we need to have a risk mitigation strategy, and the crop insurance is one of the risk mitigation tools. There are of course other practices, agriculture practices for sustainable development, for sustainable agriculture, but this is one of the tools which will help us which we can able to cater to the risk mitigation with respect to climate. Next. So this is the history of crop insurance in India. It's not a new. It started as a pilot project in 1985 as a comprehensive crop insurance scheme at the national level, and over the period there are few changes, few modifications that government is been taking care of in discussion, in consultation with the various stakeholders, and the new things that are coming up. So from 1985 then to 1999, where the National Agricultural Insurance Scheme was implemented. Then in 2007, it came the weather-based crop insurance scheme, that the index-based crop insurance scheme has come out, mainly for the horticulture crops, the fruits and vegetable crops. So in 2010, again, it was modified, and considering the loopholes and the issues and the failure implementation challenges in all these schemes, all these previously implemented schemes were brought under one umbrella, and it is called Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. And it has the two components, PMFY for the field crops and RWP, so that is restructured weather-based crop insurance scheme, mainly for the horticulture crops. And that was launched in 2016. So now onwards, it is all, we will talk about the PMFY. So what this scheme is? So this is a comprehensive and very effective crop insurance scheme which was launched by Government of India in 2016. The two objectives of this is that it is an important risk mitigation tool, and it aims that the farmers are safe from the unforeseen natural calamities. These are not non-preventable natural calamities like hailstorm, drought, floods, and all this. And earlier the scheme was mandatory for the mandatory for the lowly farmers, those who have availed the KCC or the seasonal agriculture loan from the banks. They were compulsorily covered. But considering the farmers' request and the farmers, progressive farmers, and all other consultations with the key stakeholders, the scheme was revamped in 2020, and it has been effective from the Kharif 2020, where now the scheme is made voluntary for all the farmers. So now the farmers have uh, uh, farmers have been given a choice whether they want to participate in the scheme, and if not, they can opt out of the scheme. So that was a major change that was made in February 2020 when the scheme is made voluntary for all the farmers. So what are the main objectives of this scheme? The scheme is looking forward to providing financial support to the farmers who are suffering from the crop loss or the damage because of the unforeseen natural events that we have been seeing. So, usually the cost of cultivation of the farmer is covered. That is what we call as the sum insured, and that has been covered in this particular scheme. Another important objective is to stabilize the income of the farmers. See, whenever the farmers are, because of they are in the distress, because of these climatic conditions, because of the crop loss, then they do not have any other channel from where they can get the resources from the cultivation for the next season. So this particular crop insurance will help the farmers to continue their farming practices, and in the whatever crop insurance amount they are getting from this particular scheme, that helps them to succeedingly cultivate the next season crop. And this also encourages the farmers to adopt innovative and modern agriculture practices. These are the key objectives of this scheme. So again, that somewhere helps into sustaining farming as well as sustaining interest of the farmers in the agriculture and protect their investment, whatever they have made in this agriculture. So presently, the scheme, since its inception, the scheme has been implemented in 27 states and UTs. But currently, 22 states are implementing, 22 states and UTs are implementing this particular scheme. The beauty of this scheme is the farmer premium is very good. The very nominal premium farmer has to pay. It is for Kharif. In case of Kharif crops, it is 2%. It is sum insured. For Rabi crops, it is 1.5%, and for commercial and horticulture crops, it is 5% of the sum insured. And you can see the risk cover is covering the entire crop growth cycle, right from the pre-sowing. That is, if the sowing is not, farmer is not able to sow something because of some undeserved climatic conditions, since the post-harvest losses that has been occurred, even the crop is ready for harvest as well as it is kept on the field for after the harvest period. So, and both the area basis or widespread of calamity as well as the individual or the localized calamities have been covered under this particular scheme. Next. So this is the current status of implementation. We talked about the 27 states and UTs are implementing. And mechanism, this is the actuarial derived insurance scheme. The actuarial premium is discovered, and based on that, the subsidy is being calculated. And again, it's a highly subsidized scheme where major section is again borne by the state government and the government of India, and the very nominal farmer share of premium is being paid by the farmer. The coverage of the crops is again the shortfall in the yield. We have something called as a threshold yield, which is a benchmark yield, and we compare it with the actual yield in the field. And whatever is the shortfall in the yield, that has been paid to the farmer, or in case of localized calamity, or what is the extent of loss that has been covered under this particular scheme. All major agriculture, horticulture, and commercial crops are covered under this particular scheme, but it depends upon the which of the crops the state governments have notified. So they are covered, and we have also more putting more trust on use of technology and the portal we are having for this implementation of this. Next. So we talked about the two schemes. One is PMFY and another is RWBK. So just to give you a glimpse, what is the difference between these two schemes? The major crops covered in the PMFY are the field crops, the cereals, pulses, oilseeds, and the RWBK is mainly the horticulture crops, the fruits and vegetables are covered. But in case of PMFY, it is based on the way we talked about this threshold yield and the actual yield. Threshold is the historical average yield that we have as a benchmark, and we compare it against the actual yield in the field. And in RWBCS, we go for the weather parameters. So claim arises whenever there is a shortfall. In case of PMFY, whenever there is a shortfall, that is if the actual yield is less than the threshold yield, then the claim arises. And in case of RWBCS, whether the weather indexes or the strike indexes are there. So in any deviation in the basic figures or the basic strikes, then that claim will arise. So in PMFY, the risk covers, we have already talked about various areas, the drought, the dry spells, floods, hail, landslide, etc. And in RWPCS, it's mainly the weather conditions like rainfall, temperature, wind, humidity, all these are covered. Implementing states, we have seen the 22 states which are implemented PMFY. In RWPCS, again, we have 7 to 8 states where the mainly horticulture crops are grown, like Chhattisgarh, Himachal Pradesh, Kerala, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Rajasthan, UP, Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh. They are all implemented. There were few states that have opted out of this scheme. So in the end, we've seen why these schemes, why these particular states have opted out, and they have gone for their own scheme in these particular states. But the overall in these two schemes, the similar parameters are there with respect to area approach, with respect to premium rates for the farmers, enrollment process, seasonality, discipline, claim settlement process. What broadly these parameters are similar. The only difference is between the calculation of the claims and its claim. Next. So, in these few features of the PMFY, we can see the eligibility of the farmers when we talked about for all the farmers, the individual farmers, the landowner farmers, the sharecroppers, the tenant farmers, which are cultivating notified crops in the notified areas, which are notified by the state government, they are able to join the scheme. These notifications which the state government they come out with, where they define that which of the crops and which of the areas as the insurance unit they have notified. And now the scheme is made voluntary for all the farmers. And these are the risks that are broadly covered, like the prevented soil, because of any unfavorable climatic conditions. If the uh, farmers are not able to sow the seed, or if the sowing has been happened, even though germination has been not germination is failed, then also this particular scheme, the risk is covered in this particular scheme. Similarly, if we also have a mixed adversity due to flood, prolonged dry spell, and the severe drought. We have the localized calamities like hailstorm, landslide, inundation, cloudburst. These are occurring at the individual farm level. And we also cover in this particular scheme the post-harvest losses due to hailstorm, cyclone, cyclonic rain, and unseasonal. Next. So these are the different stakeholders. We talked about that there are different, this is a multi-stakeholder scheme, and various stakeholders are play important role in implementation of this scheme. At the central level, we have the central government, which is the main role is the policy decision and use of technology and improvement of the scheme implementation, all these roles of the state government or the central government. Then we have 27 states and unities, currently 22. We have empaneled insurance companies, 18 in number, and this number is also growing. We are also adding one or two more insurance companies into this empaneled list now. And apart from that, we also have the banks and the banks. There are 540 banks and more than 1.75 lakh branches that are involved in scheme implementation. So previously, they were mainly looking after the enrollment of loany farmers as well as non-loany, but major portion was the loany farmers. Then we have Common Service Center, and recently Ministry has also collaborated with Department of Post for the enrollment of non-loany farmers as a alternative service. So we have both CSC PLU as well as the DAP. And of course, ultimately, the ultimate beneficiary, the farmers, they are the key stakeholders of this particular. Next. So this is the broad PMFU and RWBCS implementation cycle. So you can see there is one committee called at the state level crop insurance coordination committee. And in this particular committee, the state government decides which of the crops to be notified, what is the area insurance unit, what is the sum insured, what is the indemnity level. Everything is decided in this particular committee. And then the government proceeds, state government usually proceeds for the tendering and bidding process. And the internal insurance company, they participate in the bidding process, and the L1 company usually is identified for the implementation of this scheme in particular cluster of districts. So once this is done, then there is notification which the state governments come out with, that is noted, that is digitized on the crop insurance portal. And this crop insurance portal is a major source of information while enrolling the farmers. So all the details, whatever the state government has come out in their notification, is all there in the this particular crop insurance portal, PMFY portal. And once this notification is done, the portal is live for the enrollment, and then begins the process, the awareness generation, the communication, this training and capacity building, the currently that we are doing. All these processes immediately starts, and then we go for the enrollment of the farmers. And it is voluntary, both CSC, banks, PACs, they can all do this enrollment. There are insurance intermediaries also through which enrollment can happen, and there are farmers who can do the direct enrollment as the crop insurance or the PMFY portal as well. We have to keep in mind there is a certain window for this enrollment. For Kharif, usually it is 15 to 31st of July, and for Rabi is 15 to 31st of December. So once this enrollment is done, then the farmer application is processed, and that we can see into the state government of the insurance companies session, how this is processed and how these various risks are covered. So, in case of any kind of natural calamity, the loss, if there is a loss and this loss assessment is done, then there is a calculation of yield, average yield on the basis of certain technical methods called this crop setting experiment. And in case of any kind of shortfall, then the claim compensation will be done by the insurance company, and then this claim is paid to the farmer's account directly into the bank's account at the GP. Next. So these are the more broad changes that we have seen when the scheme was revamped in 2020. Earlier, the scheme was compulsory for the lowly farmers, but now it is made voluntary for all the farmers. And in case of farmers that they do not want to participate in the scheme, they can give a self-declaration in writing to the serving bank branch for 7 days before enrollment cutoff, and then they can opt out from this particular scheme. This, if the farmers do not submit this kind of self-declaration, then then the banks will premium, then the banks will debit their premium for the notified crops for which they have availed the KCC for the bank. And then there is no change in the premium rate which is payable by the farmer, which is same 2%, 1.5%, and 5%. And the one more important thing is insurance companies have been allotted to business for 3 years now for a cluster of districts for which they have been selected as a L1 insurance company. And it is made compulsory for the insurance company to open their offices at the district level and the block level, and also to deploy manpower for the field. These are the key features that have been changed in the revamped PMFY and other. So this is to just have a hang of what is the improvement or what is the implementation status of PMFY compared to the previous scheme from 2010 to 15, and now from 2016 to 21 and 22. So we can see in all the aspects, like the loan applications that have been covered, the non-loan applications that have been covered, total applications, insured area, gross premium, sum insured, and the average claim benefit which is received by the farmer, everything has increased. So it is said that this scheme is very important for the farmers, and these benefits are really reaching out to the farmers in case of natural calamities. So this makes the scheme the largest crop insurance scheme in terms of farmer participation. We can see there are around 48 crores of the farmer applications that are being enrolled over a period of time from 2016 to 22, and so this is one of the largest crop insurance scheme and largest number of farmer applications that have been enrolled under this scheme. This is also third largest crop insurance scheme with respect to the gross premium. That is also very large. But when we compare, just to have one important thing that I will tell you, that farmer premium is very nominal, and if you compare these 6-7 years, the farmers have till now paid a premium of rupees 29,185 crore, and against which the claims that have been disbursed are 1,36,923. That means against the farmer's share, there are claims which are disbursed to the farmers are around 4.7 times. So this is a huge big lift in terms of whatever farmer are premium they are paying as a nominal amount, but against which they are getting the claim in case of natural calamity. And overall claim ratio during this year is also between 75 to 80% of whatever the gross premium is. Next. So these are the different enrollment channels through which the farmers can enroll under the scheme. The banks and PACs, they can enroll both loany as well as non-loany. Then we have a common service center and Department of Post, mainly for the non-loany farmers. The self-enrollment by the non-loany farmers through PMFY portal, and insurance intermediaries also, which are taking care of enrollment of farmers in the scheme. Next. So this is again a reminder to you what are the premium rates and what is the farmer share of premium. So in Kharif and in Rabi, all food grains, cereals, pulses, as well as oilseed crops, annual horticulture and commercial crops, they are covered. And we have seen the premium, what is the amount of premium the farmer has to pay. It's 2% for Kharif, 1.5% for Rabi, and 5% for commercial and horticulture crops. The last enrollment cutoff usually is 15 to 31st of July for Kharif. So now this Kharif season is already on, and there are few states that have come out with the notification, and there the enrollment has already begun. So, and other states, they have come out with the tenders, and very soon that their insurance companies will be identified and finalized, and they will also come out with their notification. So 15 of July to 31st of July is the key enrollment cutoff date for the Kharif crops, and we can see it for the Rabi crop. So this particular webinar is again organized on the onset of this Kharif season, where we need to reach out to the farmers so that maximum farmers can enroll under the scheme during this Kharif season. So we can guide the farmers, they can go to the nearest bank if they are the loany farmers, and even non-loany farmers, if they can go and common service center and insurance companies. They can also reach out to the agriculture officer for source of information of what is the last cutoff. We can see on the NCRT portal also this information is readily available. In the coming slides, you can see how the farmers can check this out. Next. So these are the basic documents that are required, that are mandatory under this particular scheme. So for the owner farmers, the land right document, that is the land records, land possession certificates, Aadhaar card, updated Aadhaar card is very important, because in case of any change that has been made by the farmer in this Aadhaar and Aadhaar details, then whenever the farmer's enrollment is happening, this Aadhaar is verified at the UIID side. And if there is a mismatch, then it is declined and this farmer enrollment cannot happen. So we need to request the farmer, they need to provide the updated Aadhaar. And the bank passbook is very important, because all the claims will be going directly to the bank account. So that's the reason the bank passbook, the current one, the updated one, is very much important, and as well as correct mobile number is essential, because many of the SMS from the ministry side, from the insurance company side, from the state government side are going on to this mobile number which is provided by the farmer. In case of tenant farmers, we need to have a land record, a land possession certificate, also contract agreement between the lease of the lease deed between the land owner and the tenant farmer. Again, their Aadhaar card, bank passbook is mandatory. Government of India has, what they have done, they have tried to have the integration of land records of the state government with the NCRT portal. So in some of the states, because of this land integration, the farmers do not have to produce any kind of certificate or this land record, because from this state government land record system, this directly land related information directly is fetched at the time of enrollment. So there are few states where the land record has already happened, as Maharashtra, Odisha, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh. This has been already done, and for other states the process is going on, and we will try to have all majority of the states land records on the board. Then we have some supporting documents which time to time the state government declares, but they are not mandatory. They are, if the state government has made it mandatory in their notification, then it is required, like showing certificate of self-declaration from the farm. Next. So this is how the usually subsidy calculation takes place. We talked about, these are the technical terms that we talked about while calculation subsidy. The gross premium. So gross premium, this is actuarial premium. The scheme is runs on actuarial premium basis. So the gross premium is calculated for the sum insured, and it comprises of three premiums: farmer share of premium, state government, and the government of India. So farmer share of, you can see over here is a small example we have quoted. So in case of paddy for the Kharif season, its sum insured is 20,000 rupees, and actual premium rate quoted by insurance company is 10%. Then the farmer's share will be at the 2%. The farmer has to pay only 400 rupees, and the rest of the premium, that is 800, will be borne 50-50. It is borne by the state government as well as government of India. But recently, the government of India has already decided that for the northeastern states as well as heavy states, the ratio is, instead of 50-50, it is 90-10. 90% will be borne by the government of India and 10% by the state government. And apart from the heavy and northeastern states, for all other states it is 50-50%. But many of the states, they have come forward and they are also bearing the farmer share of premium as well, so that they want to cover all their farmers and give maximum benefit of this scheme to all the farmers in the state. Next. And this is how this premium calculation, premium collection and debiting of the farmer share premium happens. The CSC non-daily enrollment, so they have a CSC wallet, they do this enrollment, and insurance company pays a commission of ₹40 per successful application or the approved application to the CSC. Banks and tax, they also remit the farmer premium in the bulk in terms of challan which are generated and through the payroll mode, and for each of the challan they need to pay the tax of 5.90 rupees. And the insurance company pays a service charge of 4% of farmer share premium to the banks. Insurance intermediaries are there, so they also do this enrollment with the challan generation, and all this happens on the PMFBY portal. We call it as the National Crop Insurance Board. So all the transactions, so government want to go with the utmost transparency. So all the transactions that happens on the NCRT portal. Next. So why the farmers, we have discussed about this, why there is need for this crop insurance. So you can just have it, a simple example which you will be able to help you understand that. See, here are the comparison of two farmers made. The one set of farmers who have taken the crop insurance, after they are enrolled in the PMFY, and others they are not. So in case of farmers who have taken the PMFY, if suppose in the first year, second year, third year, and fourth year, they have consecutively paid some premium, maybe 1,500, 1,300. So they consider that this amount is being invested as an insurance. So, in case of out of 5 years, suppose there is a calamity in any particular 1 year, then this farmers will be covered. See, there is a premium paid, and in the last year, the fifth year, if the claim is received of rupees 46,000. So you can see, if you even if you reduce this amount, the premium amount being paid by the farmer is at the benefit to the net benefit of 38,500. So, in case of this, is the insurance tool which is protecting the farmers in case of any kind of natural calamity. So, if they are paying this, this is the just a premium amount that we have taken is just for understanding, but very nominal amount of premium the farmer has to pay. Compared to the farmer who have not taken the crop insurance, they feel that since we have not paid the premium, we are saving that amount. But in case of the year, whenever there is a kind of natural calamity happens, this farmer is at total loss. And that is a net loss to him. But the repercussion is that since he is depriving of this particular benefit, this money he is lost, economic loss, he has to again depend upon the money lenders to get the to get the loan for the next crop. So that again we know there's a vicious cycle once the farmer reach out to the money lender and then they get stuck into this debt trap and the poverty again the vicious cycle. So it is always beneficial for the farmers that they need to go for this enrollment under PMF. In case of any loss, they will be compensated to the crop insurance. And we have seen that there are states where whenever these natural calamities happen, the claim ratio has gone more than 125, 150% in some of the states. So this also tells us that farmers in the event of natural calamity are also protected under this particular scheme. So this is the benefit of the crop insurance scheme. This is the small example we can explain to them. Then we have grievance redressal system that plays under this particular scheme. In the state government session will be more for this. So it is at the district level, it is at the state level, at the district level, and even some of the states have gone further and they have at the block level this grievance redressal mechanism where the farmers can directly reach out and they can place they can put forth their complaint over there and then it will be try to resolve. So we have this BGRC and HGRC at the state and the district. So this is the general utility that we'd like to explain you on the crop insurance portal. So in the crop insurance portal, this is URL is www.pmfy.gov.in. So once you go on that, on the homepage, you will find insurance premium calculator. So in that, you can key in the season, year, scheme. Since we have seen two schemes, PMFY and RWBCS, then the state, district, and the crops which are notified that particular state government, that also appears. And just place in the area, there is 1 hectare. Next. So with these details, you will come out with this, which is the insurance company in that particular district, what is the sum insured of that crop, what is the farmer share, what is the actual premium rate, what is the cutoff rate, all these details immediately appear on this particular field. So the farmers as well as any of the government officials, even you want to know that in which particular, in my state or my district, which is the crop notified, what is the insurance company, what is the sum insured, what is the premium rate, every information you will get readily handed in particular this insurance premium calculator window. Next. So similarly, so once this application is processed and application is approved, the return application number is generated and this application status of the farmer can also be tracked on this PMFY portal. So this is application status where the farmer has to fill in or anybody further they have to fill in their application number. So once this receipt number, the application number is keyed, the captcha is added. Next. Then you will see the status of this application. Like this, for this particular farmer in the Kharif season under PMFBY in the year 2019, he enrolled and this application has been successfully submitted. The payment of the premium has been made successfully and application status is approved. So his state, his district, his village, and the date of enrollment and all these details are also come. So it is important that only those farmers whose application is approved are eligible for the crop insurance benefit. Other applications which are not approved, it means they are rejected. They're rejected because of there is some deficiency in the documents and all. So this easily information can be easily been find out by the other tracked by the application with this application status by the farmer on the PMF right code. Right? Uh, So here we'll also describe little what are the major initiatives that have been taken by Government of India. So Government of India has already, for the streamlining of this particular scheme, the government has already issued the SOP for better administration, like the infrastructure and manpower. We have seen that the insurance company have given the mandate for the 3 years business in the field. So they need to have open these offices at the district and the block level, and they also have to place the manpower. Then the grievance redressal. So how this grievance redressal can be taken care about the TGRCs and the IGRCs. How this insurance company, they also need to put in place the grievance redressal mechanism to address the farmer issues and the queries. And similarly for the banks. So overall, these kind of issues, this kind of SOPs and advisories, the Government of India come out from time to time for better administration and effective administration of the scheme. Then we have subsidy module as well as DigiClaim module for the claim computation and for disbursement into the farmer's account. This is a new initiative that is taken by Government of India, so that all the processes, all the transactions that are happening are available for the easy tracking and monitoring purpose on the PMFBY portal. We also have the centralized IT campaigns and the training and capacity building support we are providing to all the stakeholders, both in Kharif as well as Rabi season. We are conducting this various training programs, the capacity building program, even the new technologies that have been adopted. So for each and every new aspect that has been covered under this scheme, this training, capacity building, and handling support is provided by the government of India. We are for RWB sales, again, we are also trying to standardize the term sheets, the weather triggers, and the risk period, which is constituted by the high level committee. Ministry also having crop insurance app for logging crop loss information, CC Agri app for the yield estimation and the reporting of AY in the actual yield. We also have a dashboard on the NCIT which facilitates the state-wise, district-wise statistics. And now we have moved further that apart from state and district, even you can go to the block and the village level wise statistics is also available on the dashboard which is there on the NCIT. So all this data is very handy for all the stakeholders. They can easily go through, they can easily track, they can analyze for their purpose, and they can also monitor it. And the new this is the new chapter that has been added in this scheme is about technology needs with it. It is called YesTech, the technology based for the technology for yield based estimations, the winds, weather information networks and data systems, and the crop. So these are the things with the help of remote sensing, with the help of uh, uh, remote sensing and all other satellite databases, so that we need to have a comprehensive as well as very accurate yield estimations as well as loss assessment, so that the claim which are paying out to the farmer will be more accurate, more reliable, and without any discrepancy. So that is the major objective about behind this particular initiative that has been taken by the Government of India, and I hope that this will help all the farmers and all the stakeholders. Thank you. So I'm done with my presentation, and maybe these are the states that we have discussed. That these are the states that have been moved out of the crop insurance scheme. But again, they are not left. They are implementing their own schemes in their particular state. So they are Bihar, West Bengal, Jharkhand, Telangana, and Gujarat. So thank you. So I'm done.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity on behalf of the state of Maharashtra regarding this PMABY and the revamped with crop insurance scheme. they are implementing these two schemes in Maharashtra. We first look after the PMAPY for the cereals, pulses, and these some commercial crops. The notified crops for Maharashtra, there are two seasons, Kharif and Rabi seasons. Then for Kharif season, we have 15 notified crops. And for Rabi season, we have this only 6 notified crops, Rabi and summer season, both included. The crops are this Kharif season, paddy, jowar, bajra, tur, maize, groundnut, Niger, sunflower, soybean, cotton, and onion. And for Rabi, this wheat, jowar, gram, onion, summer paddy, and summer ground. These are the crops notified for the state of Maharashtra. If we see the implementation, that is the outcome of this PMAPY implementation since last 6 years, that is from 2016-17 up to 21-22. Then the year-wise, the claim ratio, the premium, and the claim information is visible on your screen. The overall, the premium paid by the state of Maharashtra is around to the tune of 28,000 crores to the insurance companies, and the claim amount is 19,436. So the claim ratio is around about 69%, which is a good. But still, if you see the year 2020-21, the state government or the total the premium paid PMAPY to the insurance companies is 5,800 crores, and the claim is only 1,100 crores. So there is a net profit of around about 4,600 crores to the insurance companies, and then this come up with a tremendous backfire from the media and from the public also, that this scheme are meant for the insurance companies and are not beneficial to the farmers. And there is insurance companies are having a lot of profits in this particular scheme. So on the basis of this background, from 2021, we are implementing the some profit and loss sharing model, that is called a bid model, because we are implemented in bid district. And the story that is the Madhya Pradesh and the Maharashtra is now implementing this PMAPY on the bid pattern model, that is the profit and loss sharing model. This is one kind of profit and loss sharing model. If we see the insurance company wise, the data shows that the agriculture insurance company has a good claim ratio, and this Oriental Insurance Company, it is the only company having the claim ratio is more than 100%, that is 173%. The Oriental Insurance Company has the total premium amount of around about 1,500 crores, and settle the claims to the tune of 2,600 crores. So the claim ratio is 173. Otherwise, agriculture insurance company has a good claim ratio, and the Reliance and other Bajaj, the company-wise claim ratio is given here with for your information only. If we see NAI, Mali madam has also told about this National Agriculture Insurance Scheme. Maharashtra state is also has implemented this National Agriculture Insurance Scheme since 2000, since 1990 in Rabi season, 1999 Rabi season to 2015 and 16. And the outcome is like this: the total premium amount paid by the farmers, it is 1,600 crores. And the total claim amount is around about 10,000 crores, that is 9,800 crores. So the average payout per year is 614 crores, 0.75. That is, we may take as a 615 crores per year payout under this NAI scheme. But as compared to the PMAPY last 6 years, if we see, then the total claim amount paid is around about 19,439 crores. So the average payout per year comes to 3,240 crores. So if you see the payout under this PMAPY scheme has increased very multifold. That is around 5 to 5.5 times as compared to the NAI scheme. Because in NAI scheme, the claim is settled only on the basis of this crop cutting experiment. And under the PMAPY, we have a number of periods, that is the 6 number of periods we are covered, that is the 6 number of risks we are covering. And as per the risk, it is more. The payout is also more, and the farmers' participation has also increased a lot. And one of the factors, that is the climate change, is also one of the factors which contributes to the higher payout under this insurance scheme. And I earlier spoke about this bid pattern. What is the bid pattern? Is about there is a two way approach, that is the claim sharing. In normal PMAY, the insurance companies are liable to pay the claims up to 3.5 times the premium amount. So if 100 rupees is the premium, the insurance company is likely to pay to the claim up to 350 rupees. And in this bid pattern, as per our experience for last 6 years, our maximum claim ratio is 112%. 12% only. So we have kept the cap of 110% to the insurance companies. That the insurance company will pay only up to 110% of the premium amount if the claims are there. And the above claims, above 110%, any claim will be borne by the state government. And there is a cap on the profit of the insurance companies also. So we have kept the cap of 20%. So if in case of profit, in case if the claim is less than 100% or the 50% if the claim or 10% it is a claim, then the insurance company will keep only 20% of the total premium amount as a profit to the insurance company. The rest of the profit will be given back to the state government. And the government of India share the premium subsidy pattern only, but they will not share the profit as well as the loss under this particular model. And the outcome of this particular model in the B district for the 3 last season is like this: that in Kharif 20, the B district has paid round about 798 crore premium, and the claim is only 13 crores. So in normal PMI, because the insurance companies could able to harvest profit to the tune of 785 crores in a single district. But as this is the bid pattern, after keeping around about 140 crore is the profit, 627 crore amount is came back to the state government. And same happened in the Rabi season also. The Rabi season, where the bid district has paid 169 crore premium, and the claim is only 5 crores. So 131 crore came back to the state government. And in Kharif 21 season, the claim ratio is much more higher, that is 78%. Still, under the circumstances also, about 11 crores 54 lakhs amount is coming back to the state government. So on the background of this particular experience, since 2020 to 23, whole state has been implementing the PMABO on this bid pattern only. If we see the diversification of this crop insurance product, we had 8 divisions, agriculture divisions in the state. There are 34 districts. They are bifurcated into 8 divisions. And if we see the Konkan division, that is the Western Maharashtra, they are very less contributing to the participation is very less, and the claim is also very less in Konkan division. In Nashik division, it is only 5%. In Pune division, it is 8%. In Kolhapur division, it is only 0.83%. But if we see the next division, Aurangabad, then the Aurangabad and the Latur, these are the 2 divisions belonging to the Marathwada region, which is a drought-prone area region, and there is a larger participation. The claim is also much more higher. So out of the 100%, 70%, 71% claim goes to only these 2 divisions. Only 2 divisions. That is, out of this total claim of this 19,000 crores, about 51,000 crore has gone to the 5,000 crore gone to the Aurangabad, and those 8,000 crores gone to the Latur division. So in total, 13,000 crore go to only these 2 divisions. So these are the very risky divisions as far as the insurance it is concerned, and the agriculture cropping pattern it is also concerned. And the major crop, it is the soybean crop, which is grown in these 2 divisions, that is Aurangabad and Latur. And the 3rd division, we can say, that is the Amravati division, which is the eastern, this is the western Vidarbha, which contributes around about 30% of the total claim amount. This is just for the information. But if we see the claim ratio, then the Konkan, the Nashik are having a higher claim ratio. The premium is also very much less, but the claim, if you see the claim ratio, then the claim ratio is high in this particular 2 divisions, and Aurangabad and Latur, it is around about 60-70%. What are the types of risks covered under this PMABY in Maharashtra? There are the 5 risks that are covered. First one is the prevented sowing. So in case, just like this year, if there is a El Nino or the late monsoon is coming, or there are no rains in the month of June, which is supposed to be there. So if there are no sowing took place because of the want of the rains, because of the want of the moisture, then if the major crop area under the major crop remain unsown more than 75%, then the prevented sowing notification it is issued by the collector. And under these circumstances, where the insured farmer are there, they will get straight away 25% of the sum insured amount and the policy get lapse in this particular prevented sowing aspect. So what are the major crops? Major crops, it is mean out of the total sown area, the crop is having more than 25% area, it is called as a major crop. And if the major crop area is remain unsown more than 75%, then this prevented sowing notification it is issued. And in our case, our area for the notification, it is the revenue circle. So we notified the revenue circle, and for the insurance purpose also, for preventive sowing or any other purpose, the insurance unit, that is the revenue circle, it is taken into consideration. And the second peril, it is the localized calamity. For last 2 years, if we see the Maharashtra is having a lot of emissions in last year, that is 2021-22. We have received about 54 lakhs intimations, and last year, that is the Kharif 22, we have received around about 63 lakhs intimations under this localized calamity. Localized calamity, you know, that is because of the hailstorm, that is the heavy rains, there is causing the inundation or the another factors were there, landslides were there. Under these circumstances, this localized calamity happens, and the farmer has to give the information to the insurance company within 72 hours of the calamity, and after that, the insurance company will do the survey for the loss assessment survey along with agriculture department and the farmers. And on the basis of the loss assessment survey, the claims are being settled. So under this localized calamity, it is a big payout. Say in 2000 Kharif 21, around 2,400 crore it is a payout, and in Kharif 22, we are around about 2,700 crores payout under this localized calamity. Then the mid-season adversity, there are drought, there are dry spell, big dry spell, if there is heavy incidence of pest and disease on the crop, and likely to be the yield reduction is more than 50% of the average yield, then the mid-season adversity notification it is issued by the collector, and under these circumstances, the insurance company is going to settle the 25% as an advance claims to the farmer. So last year also we have around about 16 districts which have the mid-season adversities notification, and quite a good amount of claims are also settled in this mid-season adversity. And the fourth peril, it is the post-harvest. You know, that is after harvest of the crop up to 14 days. If the crop is spread for drying purpose or something, and there are unseasonal rains or there is a crop damage due to hailstorm or something like that, then the farmer is give intimation to the insurance company, and after the loss assessment survey carried out, the claims are being settled. And the last claim, it is the crop cutting yield-based claims. So we know that is the crop cutting, it is the last aspect of this insurance. And on the basis of crop cutting experiment carried out at the revenue circle level, we are carrying out round about planning for 12 experiments, and out of which 10 experiment data it is taken for the insurance purpose. And after on the basis of this crop cutting experiment, the average yield of the revenue circle for the current year it is finalized, and on the basis of the threshold yield, that is the earlier average yield into the this is threshold level, 70% is threshold level, and on the basis of that property experiment claims are being settled. But there are some chances of the property data being tampered. So from last year we are moving to the technological yield base, and we are derived the hybrid model, that is technological yield, we are giving weightage to the 10 of to the tune of 10%, and for property experiment we are giving the weightage of 90%. So 90% weightage to the crop cutting and 10% to the technological yield. We are deriving the hybrid yield, and we are giving that hybrid yield, considering that hybrid yield for the settlement of the claims under the crop cutting experiment yield-based claims. And we have implemented for the first time for the 3 crops, that is the paddy, then the cotton and the soybean. These are the crops. But from this year, that is 23 Kharif, we are implementing for 4 crops. That is the paddy, wheat, cotton and soybean. These are the 4 crops. And for the first year, we are giving weightage to the technological yield to the tune of 30%. In next year, 40%, and in the last year, that is at the end of the third year, we are giving weightage for the technological yield up to 50%. On the basis of this, the technological intervention it is being taken. If we see the crop-wise area insured, then we have around about 14 crops. But out of the 14 crops, the soybean it is a predominant crop for which the area insured to the tune of 76%. So we have around about 50 lakh hectares it is the soybean area, and out of which 37 lakh hectares it is insured because it is more prone to the climatic disasters and to the drought also. So the farmer who are growing soybean, they are likely to insure their crop in a large number. That is 77% farmers in the soybean, they insured the crop. The cotton, it is the 15%, then the tool, it is the 32%, and the moog is also a major crop. The farmers go for 99%. The area under the moog, it is being insured. So this is the story. The farmers, this paddy, only 11% farmers insuring the paddy. Farmers, bajra it is 15%, jowar it is 20%. So soybean, it is the principal crop nowadays. There is a lag in the slides. Okay, if we see, as earlier I spoke, that is the soybean, it is the principal crop, and for which the Maharashtra farmers are insuring their crop. Particularly, in some cases there are higher insurance cases, just like in Aurangabad, in Bid, more than the zone area. There are reports of having more area insured under the soybean crop, because soybean, it is a crop, the area under the soybean crop has increased by 9 lakh hectares since 2 years. Earlier, before in 2020, the area under soybean is around about 40 lakhs, and 22. If the area under the soybean is around about 50 lakhs hectares. So area increase in soybean is tremendously high. Farmers in Maharashtra are moving towards the soybean crop only. So there is likely to be chances that the area under the soybean is increased than the normal area. So there are chances of having the more area insured under the soybean crop as compared to the sown area. Then speaking about the sum insured and the farmers premium, so we have accepted that is the sum insured is different from district to district on the basis of scale of finance. The scale of finance, it is vary from district to district, so the sum insured also vary from district to district. And the farmers premium in Kharif season, you know, that is up to 2% for the cereal and pulses, and for cotton and onion there are 5%. And in Rabi it is 1.5%. So the farmers premium is different from district to district. As far as the grievance redressal mechanism under the PMVY, you know, that is as per the reorg operation guidelines issued by the central government, we had set up the mechanism for the grievance redressal. But the main type of grievances which are coming to us, that is the about the claim settlement, that is the delay in claim settlement, the discrepancy in claim settlement, and the disagreement in claim settlement. Delay means after the localized calamity intimation, the reorg operation guidelines says that within 2 days they have to deploy the surveyor, within 10 days they have to complete the survey, and within next 15 days they have to settle the claims. Prior condition is that the state and the central government has given the first installment of the premium subsidy to the insurance company, but still it is not being followed. In some localized calamity, the companies are taking around about 3 months, 4 months to decide the claim amount, and then there will be delay in the disbursement also. There is a discrepancies in the claim settlement and the disagreement over the localized or the post harvest. There are disagreement among the farmers and the insurance companies on the area that is got damage, or the crop growth stage, and then the crop damage percentage. There are disagreements. Then the premium calculation, some agreements were there. Then the premium deduction in case of loany farmers. Some of the loany farmers, although there is an opt-out option, is given under this, the loany farmer has to give in writing to the agency who is giving him loan, that they don't want to participate in the PMABY 7 days prior to the last date of cut-off date. But the farmers are not doing this, and there are some disagreements over this also. Then conduct of CCs, property experiment, farmer emphasis that the area which got larger damage, they should be selected for only for the CCs experiment. But as per the modus operandi, as per the random, we are selecting the plots and this thing. But there are disputes on the selection of the plots among the farmers and the agriculture department or the property experiment and doing agencies also. Then some portal issues about the enrollment, login, and non-cooperation from the banks. In last year, we had around about 96 lakh application in the Kharif, And out of 96 lakh applications, around 87 lakhs applications are from the CSEs. So the participation of bank is reducing day by day to the larger extent. So the banks are not very much keen to cooperate as far as the agriculture insurance it is concerned. Then the low presence of the taluka level offices in aggregate infrastructure of the insurance companies. The insurance companies deploy their staff at the taluka level, which is having not adequate knowledge or the infrastructure about the crop insurance, because they are being deployed for a very short period, and so there are issues that these people couldn't able to solve the grievances of the farmers and give proper information to the farmers' issues with the notification that is exclusion of the crops, villages, etc. Non-inclusion of certain villages like strong weeds, inundation, etc. For paddy, it is inundation is not accepted at the central level only for paddy, jute, and mesta. Still, farmer insist that there is a loss of the paddy farms due to inundation. So it should be included in the non-ability of the desired benefits about the scheme. The information then complete about the toll-free number. Some companies there is a vary about the toll-free numbers. Some companies are operating the toll-free numbers from 10 to 6 only. They are not operating on Saturday and Sunday. The number of the toll-free lines is also very minimal to the tune of 3 or 4 toll-free lines. Then the farmer couldn't able to connect to the toll-free lines. So these are some of the issues, grievances raised by the farmers, and we have some grievance mechanism. Some grievances are issued direct to the state and central government, to the banks, to the insurance companies, to our agriculture department, and to electronic and press media, through social media, and public grievance portal. These are the various ways from which the grievances are being received. And as per the revamped operation guidelines, we have the grievance redressal committee at the taluka level under the chairmanship of Tahsildar, at the district level under the chairmanship of collector, at the division level at the chairmanship of divisional commissioner, and state level under the chairmanship of principal secretary agriculture. And but largely the grievances are being taken care at the district level only, at the collectors level only. The insurance companies are also cooperating well, and a lot of grievances are being solved at the district level only. These are the grievance redressal committees. I need not have to focus on this because they are available in the operation guideline to each and every state. So we have also formulated the grievance redressal committee at the various levels. Then the responsibility, as far as the responsibility of the pharmacist is concerned, the participation is optional to the farmer. It should be known to the farmer that is for lonely farmer it is optional, because the non-lonely farmer it is by default it is optional, but for lonely farmer it is also optional. Then the farmer's bank account information is necessary, his Aadhaar information is necessary, his mobile number information is also necessary. Then the rent agreement is also necessary. Some farmer are cultivating the land on the rent basis. So rent agreement or proper document it is necessary, and the application must be done before the cut-off date. Self declaration of the crop, it is necessary. Which crop he has sown in this field, the declaration of the farmer it is necessary. In case of the localized calamity and the post-harvest losses, the farmer has to give intimations to the insurance company within 72 hours. So there are large number of grievances about this. Also, the farmer says that there is no network, there is no toll-free number available, there is no email connectivity available with the insurance company. There are no officers of the insurance companies available in the field. So we are unable to give that intimation within the 72 hours. So kindly accept our intimation. So in case of natural disaster, it is true that the farmers are also not able to give the intimation within the particular period also. This is a area of grievances also. And but as per the operation guidelines, the farmer need to give the intimation, because the government of India's portal is now working very well. They have developed the app, and this is a very good availability has done ensured by the central government, and through which the farmers are giving their intimations. They have to he has to cooperate for the crop loss assessment. So after giving the intimation, some insurance company department is going for the crop loss assessment, but some farmers are not cooperating the crop loss assessment. They are not coming to the farms. They are not picking up the phones. It happens largely in case of horticulture crop insurance, where they are not cooperating for the crop loss assessment. Then he has to produce the land ownership, bank, other details, rent agreement has been asked for the verification purpose, and other authentication as it is mandatory. Now it is required for the PMABY as well as the weather-based participation. The weather data for this we had a project called Mahaved project in Maharashtra with the help of SkyMed as an agency and the state agriculture department. We have set up automatic weather station in each and every revenue circle in the state. There are 2,123 revenue circles in which we have established automatic weather station, and the data about the air temperature, relative humidity, rainfall, wind speed, and wind direction is given directly to the central server, and we are using this data for the claim settlement and for various purposes for the insurances. As I have told, I have spoke about the combination of the CC and the model yield estimates. This year we are going for the paddy, wheat, cotton, and soybean with the 30% weightage in the first year and increasing to the 40% and 50% in the consecutive second and third year as a technology-based, technology-derived yield estimation. And for this, the NRESC, the National Remote Sensing, and MRSAT, Maharashtra State Remote Sensing Agency, they are cooperating with us. And we had a Mahagritech project. We are running a Mahagritech project with these particular agencies. And this is a very good model, and we are giving emphasis on this technological yield. And as far as the experience it is concerned in the field, there is a crop not found. This is one of the kind of experience. The farmer insured for that crop, but when we visit the particular plot, the crop isn't found. He has some another crop, so he insured for soybean, and the crop found it is sugar cane, or the crop found is cotton or tur, other crop, and he has insured. So this is the crop mismatch. It is there. So if in case of loany farmer, they took a loan for a particular crop, and in field there is another crop. So they had insurance for groundnut if they have taken loan for groundnut, and they sow woody, moong, or jawar crop in the field. So there is a crop mismatch. It is found. Then the insurance on the other farmer land. This is also a big issue in Maharashtra. The farmer whose land it is there, he doesn't know that his land is not insured. But some another farmer or another fellow is insuring that farmer's land, because this is all online portal insurance it is being carried out. So this is the area in Maharashtra. Out of this 96 lakh application, around about 3 lakh applications were there where the name of the insurer and the name of the landholder is not matching. In PMABY and in whether round about we have found round about 15,000 farmers were like that. Where the crop is not found, and the farmers has insured the other farmer land on the rent agreement basis, but the farmer, the owner, doesn't know about the rent agreement also, because rent they have done on a 100 rupee stamp paper and they have signed. Fourth sign is there of the landowner, they have uploaded on the portal. So insurance on the government land, in the bogus rent agreement, non-cooperation in loss assessment. So there are, if the crop losses are due to wind speed or heavy winds, then they give the intimations, but they doesn't cooperate about the loss assessment. Then the non-functional IC taluka and district office. Sometimes this is the issue, that is because of the agitation, the insurance companies close their taluka offices or district offices, and then there will be problem in implementation, disputing claim assessment and settlement. This is the field experience. It is there. So this is one of the slide I am sharing about. The farmer name, that the insurance farmer name is different, and as per the land record, the farmer's name is different. So the insurance on the other farmer's land, it is there. In Usmanabad, in Kharif 2021, we have found out this case that the in Kharif 21, farmers insured for soybean in the Pranda Taluka, there are 17,778 farmers. They are insured for 8,500 hectare area. But after the ground thing it is being done, the actual soybean is found only in 1,600 hectare area, and the number of farmers is only 2,900. So the soybean crop not found number of farmers, it is 14,841. So out of 17,000 farmers, 17,700 farmers, around 15,000 farmers are not having the soybean crop. They are having some another cotton or sugarcane or another crop, and they are insured for this crop. And as per the central government directives, we have taken the actions. We have appreciated the farmers' premium, and the central and state premium amount, it is the subsidy amount, it is saved to a larger extent, to the tune of around about 62 lakh farmers' premium. It is confiscated. So the same case in the weather-based crop insurance, we have and Ambia Bahar, these are the two Bahars. Murga Bahar, that is the Kharif season, and Ambia Bahar, that is the Rabi season, largely we can say. And there are 8 crops we have notified. We have not included any vegetable crop in this weather-based crop insurance. We have only the horticultural crops, that is the orchards, the pomegranate, santra, orange, chiku, guava, lemon, custard apple, and grapes. These are the crops. And in Ambia Bahar, the mango, cashew nut, papaya, strawberry. These are the another crops we are insuring for this thing. But we have kept a limit of 4 hectares per beneficiary to be insured in a year, including all notified crops. And in these cases, the insurance premium has gone up to more 85%. In one case, that is in Sapota case in Palakkad district, the total premium, actual premium is gone up to 85%. So it is much more higher. So as the central government has given a cap of 30% for the rain-fed districts, so out of this 30%, 5% share it is the farmers and 12.5% will be the share of central government. The state government is accepting if the premium is more than 30%, up to 35%, state government accepts the liability. And if the premium amount is more than 35%, then the farmer has to share 50% of the excess premium amount. So this is the case. As far as the weather-based crop insurance it is concerned, in last 6 years, the total premium is paid is 5,500 crores and the claim amount is 4,600 crores. So 85% it is the claim ratio, which is a quite good claim ratio. Out of this 5,500 crores, the farmer share is only 1,000 crores, that is 991 crores. So as far as farmer it is concerned, it is a very beneficial scheme. So as compared to the farmer's premium share, the claim amount is around about 4.6 times the farmer has received. So it is a good claim amount. And some of the farmers received to the tune of 15 lakh, 5 lakh, it is a claim amount received under this weather-based crop insurance. But what happened, this Prakash Bhagwan Elpale is a story to share with you. That is the farmer from the Sangola district of the Solapur. He has around about 9 applications for the grape crop, and he has the farmer, he has paid 77,000 as the farmer premium share, and he has got a claim of 15 lakh 55,000. But if you see his land parcels, then one parcel is having only 0.07 hectare, that is the 7R area insured, and the claim amount is only 22,000 this thing. So as the claim amount it is processed as per the application, they are deposited to the farmer's bank account, and the message come to the farmer's mobile that 22,000 claim amount it is being deposited in your account. So farmer doesn't able to know whether it is for the whole applications or for a single application. Then he says that I have paid 77,000 as a premium, and only claim is 22,000. Such kind of news are coming in the papers, and it create some unfavorable climate for the insurance in the this. As far as it is the Rabi Hangam in this Jalna, there is a case in 2020 where we have done this actuarial ground truthing of this orchard. And in Jalna district, we found that is around about the orchard area included is 2,600, 26,000, 26,000 hectare, and out of which 7,853 hectare area, the orchard is not found. So we have done the recovery of farmers premium from the insurance company, and the state and the central premium it is so to the larger extent. During this year in Ambia Bahar, as I have shared with you, the total applications are to the tune of 2,48,000, and the area insured is 1,90,000 hectares. And we have done the ground truthing because of some of the news come to us that there is the bogus crop insurance were there. And we have found about 14,790, that is the 15,000 applications were bogus. That is the no crop it is there in the field. They have some cereals or pulses crop in the farm, and they have insured for the orchard. Although there is a requirement of the geotag photo of the orchard, but they do some forgery and upload some geotag kind of photo to the small practice to the portal. Then the farmer doesn't know about his area being insured. Some other farmers are insuring on the rent agreement, bogus rent agreement in this horticulture crop insurance. And as far as these 15,000 applications are concerned, the subsidy to the tune of 53 crores it is saved the government of India, Maharashtra, and the farmers premium share, that is the 13.81 crore we have confiscated, and we are paying it to the government of India technological fund as per the operation guidelines. So these are the some field experiences, and we know that there are a number of in the news always it is being pop up that the farmer are getting some low claim, but the farmer is insuring their farms through various applications, through 3, 4, 5 applications, and the sum total of the claim is higher than the 1,000 rupees or something like that. But still, the news are coming like that. So this is the news in sometimes of India, that is a low compensation is being paid to the farmers. But some kind of political parties are now entered in a big way in this crop insurance on behalf of the farmers, and they are agitating more. So there are law and order situations also we have to face in the state. So these are the farmers some about the grievances they are coming in Nagar district, in Solapur, in Usmanabad. Then some actions are being taken from the collectors to confiscate the to log the bank accounts of the companies and this thing for not payment of the claims or something like that. And some kind of means not good kind of experiences are there. It is being happening some kind. And the political parties now that the agriculture minister is also giving press briefings a number of times that the case is different, and the farmer is also some there are incidents about the MSP purchase also, because in crop insurance the farmer wants the yield to be more less than the threshold yield, but as far as the MSP purchase is concerned, they want the yield to be much more higher, so that the purchase will be much more higher on the MSP is there. So such kind of news is there, the farmers photos, and they are getting a very low claim amount. But the reality is that I have shown you the reality. The farmers have insured their crop through a number of applications, and the total amount is in case of Bhagwan Gadge, he has got 11,590 rupees. But in the news, it is said that only 262 rupees the insurance company has paid. Yes, that's true, but the Bhagwan Gadge has one application, that is the first application, the claim amount is 262. But he has a 4 applications, and the total amount paid to the Bhagwan Gadge is 11,590. This thing, and this is like a new 75 rupees are being paid to the farmers, but actually he has got 15,000 rupees. And when we give detailed information to the press, then the press is having only very minor area in the news that such and such declaration has been given by the State Department. So such kind of is happening. So we have a lot of challenges in this crop insurance, but with the cooperation from the central government is going on a big way on a estate project, on a weeds, and in the future to come, a human errorless system. It is necessary for the crop insurance purpose, and we are moving to.
Yeah. So quickly, I will cover the application process and the claim calculation, claim settlement, and the experience part of it. Binay sir has actually given in detail presentation about the claim calculation and the settlement and the state's perspective of the experience part of it. So I will quickly go through the salient features of application process and then the finer points about the claim calculation and the settlement related issues. I hope that would not take much time. So we will invite whatever clarification questions are there in between so that we can answer it effectively. So basically in Pallavi ma'am's also the presentation, this was given that these are the stakeholders who are primarily responsible to help the farmers enroll themselves in the application process. As we understand, the non-loany and the loany farmers, there is no distinction as it is now. The option to enroll in the crop insurance scheme is voluntary as long as they follow the seasonality discipline, that is within the cutoff date they enroll themselves, or if they have to opt out before the cutoff date, 7 days prior to that they have to inform. So now in the application process, this is slightly detailed because there are the banks which are involved. First we'll talk about the bank. The bank has to create actually the headquarter admin, the state admin, and then the branch manager. Branch manager effectively can use multiple users to enroll the farmers into the application. So the insurance company and the state government notifications are sent to the lead banks, which are shared with the respective banks in the geographies where the crop insurance scheme is being implemented, primarily PMFBY. Before the cutoff date, as soon as the notification is given, the data is shared with the lead bank, and incidentally, all the banks are also approached by the insurance company to ensure that full-scale participation of the beneficiaries are achieved. Now, certain things are very critical to understand here. One is that the banks, when they upload the data, they have to also make sure that the insurance units, I mean, if it is at a village level or a GP level, the data actually matches with the census data. The state government will actually upload the data into the NCIP portal, and if there is a mismatch, no, subsequently there will be issues. We'll come back to this a little later, because these are having issues in terms of the insurable interest and the area of notification. So the insured crop that is notified to be insured in that area, and all those details pertaining to the farmer's account, which are basically the insurable interest part of it, and the notified crop matching with the crop that is to be insured for the current season, that needs to be uploaded. One salient point here is that the banks will actually enroll the KCC related account farmers in their notification. It is possible that the farmer would have opted for a new crop, especially when the crop rotation takes place in the next season, and would have forgotten to inform the bank. And the bank will routinely include the last year's data into the crop insurance portal, and then there will be a mismatch. As Vinay sir has said, there will be crop insurance crop mismatch in the field versus what is insured. So it is very critical that the notified crop, which is actually being shown, basically what is going to happen is the banks will start disbursing the short-term agricultural operations loans from April onwards, but actual sowing in most of the places will happen after June 15th at the cutoff, when the monsoon arrives, and then the sowing starts. So there will be a mismatch between these data and the data which is captured at the bank. Banks have to be very careful in entering this data, and if there are any mismatches, subsequently the beneficiary has to opt it within 7 days for changing and all those things. So this is critical. And once the data is uploaded, of course, there is the next process follows. Similar methodology is applicable for common service centers. In this case, the intermediaries and the post office also, they have to get in touch with the state government, district administration, and they have to be aware about the cutoff dates for that particular area or the district for the crop insurance program, and they have to get in touch with the village level entrepreneurs who are going to enroll these farmers, and all these details, because the critical part is that just like Maharashtra, where a lot of non-Dhoni farmers get into the CSC and enroll themselves, the CSCs are almost always aware about the need, but they need to proactively do the enrollments before the cutoff date without waiting for the last date to be there, and trying to open the CSC centers late in the evening, or asking for extension. As of now, the government directives are that there will be no extension in the cutoff date. So it is very critical that the banks and every other channel that actually enrolls has to, okay, now the question here is, what are the timelines? Vinay sir and Pallavi ma'am actually have told about the entire cycle from when the banks and the CSCs will be able to enroll the farmers, and what are the methodology. In short, it will be about 1.5 months from end to end. That is, from the time the banks start enrolling the farmers till the time the money is actually received by the insurance company, and the challans generated by the banks, which are tagged with the particular farmers with the correct details, are accepted by the insurance company, so that at the end of the acceptance cycle, inland letters for approved applications can be sent to respective farmers. And here this inland letters or the policy which is being directly handed over by the administration to the farmer under Mera Policy Mere Haath scheme. So it is critical that all these functions are created in time and the process is understood by everybody so that there is no delay. Now, typically where we encounter problems are the applications which are received at the CSC end. If the corrected documents are not uploaded, like in many cases, they do not revert or they are in a position to only partially fulfill the document requirement, then the insurance company is handicapped to actually approve those cases, and they have to, because of document deficiencies, they have to decline those proposals, and that creates a lot of issues. From an insurance company point of view, applications are just like proposals, and the proposals have to be correct in terms of their data which is disclosed there. First of all, insurable interest, whether the person is entitled to take insurance, it is the land is in his name or her name. The crop that is being sown, the subject matter of insurance is correct or not. In the land part of its actual areas, Vinay sir has showed no, somebody has taken land or he has tried to have land which is in excess of the actual land hold in his account. So most of these holding the land and then ensuring part is taken care of when the land records are integrated. But still we have issues where the non-loany applications are coming, where the falsified documents are provided. However, there is a disclaimer that if there is any falsified documents, the insurance company and the government can take action, but mostly it's a time consuming process. We expect that the documents will come quickly. So I will just quickly skip this and then we can go. This has already been identified as one of the weak areas where the land records are not properly captured. And what happens is the farmers who have been deprived of insurance subsequently approach when there is a large scale claim. Everybody knows in that area if there is a loss, they will approach the other farmers have got the claim, I did not get the claim. So there are a lot of people who will approach several forums, insurance companies first, then the state agriculture department, district agriculture department. Of some of them will also land in the court of law asking for compensations. And the government of India guidelines are very clear. If there are any deficiencies by the channels, then the repercussions, that means the actual claims, will have to be borne by them. So our request and the directions at the beginning when we have the bank level meetings and sensitization programs is to ensure that the people at the branch level who are the users, they capture the data correctly. And of course, subsequently this database, when it goes to NCIP and gets deduped, subsequently we'll have much of the things removed. But as of now, it is a mostly manual entry which needs to be correctly updated. So these are the things. Then we will go to the claim calculation part of it. Here again, the claim calculation under PMABY are actually explained in the revised operational guidelines in clause number 21. There are basically two kinds of things which are happening here, and I don't want to get into detail of how the claims are getting calculated, and these are actually the protocols are given under section 21, and there are 4 tables which in detail explain the protocols and conditions and everything. But here the key point to understand is that there are 2 types of claim. One is widespread calamity, which is it can happen and it can impact the insurance unit, and the other part is the ones which are actually at an individual level. For example, a localized calamity for maybe 5,000 farmers insured in an insurance unit, only 30, 40 or 50 farmers will suffer a localized calamity, or maybe 60, 70 farmers or 100 farmers will have a post-harvest loss, but not the entire insurance unit will get impacted. Question here is, if it's a localized calamity, which means the loss assessment and other things have to be done at an individual level. Here, the tendency of late has been to convert those localized calamity into a widespread calamity. The guidelines also say that the localized calamity surveys have to be conducted in a definite manner, I mean within a prescribed time limit, but the purpose is defeated to the extent that because of several pressures, as we have seen in Maharashtra and elsewhere, the localized calamities are considered to be a license to ask for widespread calamities. Now, even if you really look at a rain-fed area where the monsoon is active from month of July onwards until September, it is obvious that in the month of July to August, there will be rainy days. And the farmers, in case of one excess rainfall, will start claiming for localized calamity in the whole of village, which is very difficult to understand. And the pressure is actually on both sides, and the insurance company and also the state government, because state government also will have limited number of people assigned to the survey. Insurance company will also have a limited presence. So the question here is whether the localized calamity cases are sufficient in number to warrant a widespread calamity or not. Now that apart, the widespread calamity, if it happens mid-season, can also have a mid-season adversity, and if it is at the beginning of the season, it can result into a prevented sowing. The guidelines are very clear about prevented sowing, how mid-season adversity is to be triggered. Now, there are two things. One is that there is a rainfall and there is media report and all these things, but that does not necessarily mean that mid-season adversity is triggered. The guidelines are very, very clear. It says that once it is triggered, it has to be analyzed at the district level joint committee, and only when the criteria is met, then joint inspection has to be conducted. Now, most of the cases, what is happening is the state government, because of some other compulsions, they will conduct what is called an eye estimation survey. Now, eye estimation surveys are not necessarily the same as prescribed under the PMFY guidelines. So, if the mid-season adversity or any widespread calamity is being reported, it is understood that the basic protocol as defined in the guideline has to be followed, so that there are no further disputes and other things. So there is a confusion or there is an overlap between how we think that the losses have been reported, the losses, how they are going to be assessed, and assessed meaning quantified, and the protocol under which the losses will be paid. So there are three distinct things which have to be understood very clearly, and the guideline is very specific about how these things are to be attempted. We will come to see that little later. But starting with intimations, the farmer has to give one intimation within 72 hours. There are various methodology by which methods by which the farmer can give intimation. There are mobile applications, there are physical intimations, there are call centers. The challenge of call centers operating on non-office working hours on Saturday, Sundays is understood, but for that there are n number of channels also within which the farmer has to intimate. Now, from an insurance point of view, what happens is if one farmer has given application, the other fellow farmer has not been able to, then they will come with another application at a later date. And in some cases, it has also been seen that even if there are, and these are localized calamities, so even if the trigger has not been there, like no inundation has taken place, the incident reported was some 4 days or 5 days back, still the people will come and ask for an intimation to be taken. Now, intimation has to be taken, it cannot be refused. And the loss assessment survey and assessment has to be conducted, but these are conducted without prejudice. We will come to that little later. Okay, no, I'll have to go back. So let me explain it to here what exactly happens in terms of a loss assessment part of it. When an insurance company surveyor goes for a joint survey to any identified area where there is a loss reported, two things will happen. One is that they will check the insurable interest, whether the person is having the land records in his name, if there is a policy, if the premium has been paid, and if it is the crop that is being sown is actually the case crop which is actually insured. Now, if these things are okay, and then the peril is checked, whether the, for example, the farmer reports loss for hailstorm, and the insurance company's joint surveyor will see whether this particular loss is because of hailstorm or something else. If the peril is not the insured peril, loss could have been because of the insect attack or something else. But if it is not because of hailstorm, then the losses cannot be covered. So that is why we call the survey, joint loss survey, as a without prejudice survey. To their rights of the insured farmer who has reported the claim and the insurance company which is actually assessing the claim. So first of all, we will be doing the survey where we will be assessing the insurable interest, the perils, the policy and the premium part of it, and collect such evidence which is required on the field. And then the quantification of the loss will take place. Now, there are losses which can be quantified, and most of them are subjective. But issue is that mostly the farmers where the localized calamities are reported in large numbers will insist for a sample survey, which is also a part of the guideline. Now, in a sample survey, it is quite possible that random sample surveys will not be conducted, but the joint survey team will be taken to those areas where the losses are maximum. And this is incidentally reported as area approach basis, which is patently misleading because localized claims cannot be on an area approach basis. Localized claims have to be localized only. And if they come under area approach, they actually get the widespread calamity, nature of widespread calamity. So we have to distinguish between what are genuine losses because of localized calamity and what are actually widespread calamity. If the widespread calamity is reported, then appropriately sample survey mechanism is given that has to be followed. And widespread calamity losses are separate in the sense that all the people, all the insured farmers in that area will be eligible for compensation. And these cases are to be adjusted against the full and final settlement. So one of the things which is critical in these particular areas is that your local calamity or post-harvest losses tend to get converted into widespread calamities, which are not proper. So let me go to the claim settlement part of it. The claim settlement part earlier, as Vinay sir has said, it used to take a longer time because of the insurance company not being able to finalize the surveys, not being able to get the details uploaded, or there are issues about premium subsidies. And now localized claims, post-harvest losses, mid-season adversities, they have various requirements. For example, localized calamity, if the first premium subsidy is received, that is fine. Insurance company can settle the claim. But if it is mid-season adversity or post-harvest losses, the full premium has to be received in advance. Now, most of the cases, there is a debate that we have paid this much of a premium and claims are only a certain fraction of this particular premium, so why can't you pay? From an insurance company point of view, Section 64 VB says the whole premium has to be received in advance. That includes the farmer share, the state share, and the central share, so that the contract is honored, and then insurance company can settle the claims. The farmers will not know. They will also always stick to the guidelines saying that we have paid the amount, we have paid our share, and then why can't insurance company settle? The guideline says that insurance company has to receive all the premiums in advance, and then only they can do that. So there are certain gaps in understanding, and many places it doesn't happen, but some places it is becoming a slight issue in terms of timely settlement of claims. As far as mode of settlement is concerned, instead of insurance companies now trying to settle the claims on their own, the NCIP is now open, by which insurance company will directly upload the data into NCIP, and then through PFMS, the eligible farmers will get the payment. This is a very welcome initiative because now the reverse feedback of insurance companies giving to the farmers as to what component of claim has been settled, when it was settled, and other things will be now available directly at the fingertips of the farmer. The claim settlement format looks something like this, that insurance company will have the data about other than yield claims, that is localized claims and post-harvest losses data uploaded into the system, and claim calculation based on the AY and the TY data uploaded and certified by both state government and insurance company will get auto calculated. Insurance company also has to do the digital signature enrollment in that, because everything will now flow automatically. insurance company, once they upload these particular things, they will state-wise create payment lots and send it for approval with the digital signature to PFMS. From PFMS, the workflow will go after verifying the digital signatures and authentication with the IC debit bank. It will flow into the NPCI, National Payments Agency, then Corporation of India, National Payments Corporation of India, which will send the payments to the creditor bank and take the reverse feedback from NPCI and then give it to the successor failure to the creditor bank, and then it will flow automatically to the payment bank, and from that PFMS it will get automatically populated into NCIP. So this will create seamless flow about the farmer. Once the farmer gets the claim, all insurance related available data will be on NCIP. So just regarding, I think I am not overshooting the target. So I will just quickly talk about the experiences part of it. Vinay sir has given the state perspective on experiences. We also have similar experiences about the challenges in the field, especially related to grievances, which have now become a major issue. Now, from the guideline point of view, there are two critical things. One is what is the grievance and what is the dispute. If there is any dispute with the state about the crop cutting experiments or related to the yield data, the disputes have to be resolved by the state government and insurance company or through a technical mechanism, TSU, TAC at the central government level. These are called yield related disputes, though it will have some repercussion, especially if it is getting delayed on settlement of claims. These are entirely different because the farmers are not getting involved into the dispute between the state and the insurance company about the yield loss assessments or the AY data. But genuine grievances, whatever is there because of the farmer not getting the premium, the applications getting rejected, the survey not getting conducted on time, there is a structured guideline, which is section 30, which as Vinay sir has given, blocks from taluka level till state level. There is a structured mechanism by which the claims or any grievances can be addressed. While this is so, what happens is most of the time there are certain instances where the states would have resorted to not adhering to the guidelines and then trying to find out alternate solutions. Now, in these cases, if you clearly see, at the district level, the district collector is the person who is actually implementing the scheme. He or she is the chairperson for the district level monitoring committee, and essentially on behalf of the entire implementation by the state government, he or she is responsible for seeing that the implementation is done on target. And the three stakeholders, of course, insurance company, state government, and the district monitoring authority, they are closely aligned to this. Now, some of the time what is happening is the collector in his or her capacity will try to file cases against the insurance company for negligence. As long as the insurance company person is implementing the scheme, from insurance company point of view, any personal allegations which are not in terms of guideline are not welcome, because that creates a situation, as we have seen, where the political parties, or for that matter any local level influencers, they will try to take advantage, and we have seen a spate of such things. Maybe in some places the claim managers are detained, some places the collectors have filed personal cases against these people, state heads, for restraining them from moving out and all those things. So these are unwelcome things, because these things have to be addressed in terms of what is available in terms of the structured claim settlement mechanism and the grievance mechanism. If anything is beyond that, then of course insurance ombudsman is there, and then there is the district consumer redressal forums are there, and of course the final writ petition and other things in terms of claim, in case of disputes. But the grievance redressal mechanism has to structurally follow what is designed there. Otherwise, this creates a lot of overburden on both the state, the district level authorities, and everybody else. The second part which we have seen is, although most of the times the states will have designated officials who are entrusted the job, for example, the state agriculture department officials, they are terribly busy in many other things other than crop insurance. So the focus sometimes is on something else and not necessarily on crop insurance. Crop insurance in many times will take a second level of priority because they are otherwise occupied into so many things. We understand they are busy, especially when the crop cutting experiments and other things are there. Other department peoples get involved into that also creates some kind of issues which we need to see. We have seen over the last several years, from 2016 onwards, the scheme is leveraging gradually into technology, and many of the things which are actually happening in the field now have been eliminated. So we expect that the yes tech mechanism and the winds and other things will, and also of course the strengthening of NCIP will create a lot of positive vibes in the ecosystem. There will be a lot of transparency in terms of how things are getting addressed, and there will be less of dispute in terms of claims and local level influencers. So our experiences have been very positive. We have been present in many other states, and except maybe one or two seasons where things have not gone as well, we are very, very satisfied in terms of things which are happening in the current ecosystem. So I think with that, I will close this, and if there are any questions, I will be able to take it.
So I think I had been in the entire session, mostly most of the session, and it is heartening to know, the active participation of hundreds of people across the country from the field, and an active participation from state governments and insurance companies. And I think at the outset, I think this is something which the ministry has taken up for awareness and education about PMFBY and crop insurance, why it is needed, and how do we disseminate this information down to the farmers to make them aware why they do need insurance and what are the risks they are exposed to, and what are the solutions which governments are trying to make them adopt and offer them, so that their risks, basically the financial risks associated with their farming activities, is addressed, and their concerns about the insecurity and financial losses are taken care of. So I would thank, first of all, Manage and my team in PMU with capacity building to have taken up this initiative of awareness and basically dissemination of information to the field functionaries, so that we carry out together the message to the farmers on the ground as to why they need insurance and what are the risks they are exposed to and what are the solutions they have there, the governments are offering them to. And also thank the participants across the country who have joined this 3 hours long session on crop insurance and PMFBY. I think in the previous sessions, RKG has very well pointed out what are the perspectives of the state government as an implementing, the welfare state for the farmers. As well as we had a very interesting session from Amulya Das ji from one of the insurance company who is implementing PMFBY across the country. The perspective of how insurance companies look at crop insurance and how they are associated with it and what are their roles and responsibilities, and maybe the expectations from the states and expectations from the participants, expectations from the farmers. So at this juncture in time, so since Government of India and a lot of other state governments. So basically, this is one of the solutions which Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana brings to the farmers. Is we know that farming is exposed to a lot of risks, and climatic risks are the major concern areas as of now. And as we are seeing this year also, the predictions, very strong predictions of drought condition or the weak monsoon conditions because of El Nino. So it becomes very, very important that the message or the this dissemination of information about the potential risks which farming community can be exposed to during they are associated with the farming. This message has to go to the field. I mean, farmers needs to be educated about that, made aware of what are the risks they are exposed to while they are doing farming, so that they can take care of the potential financial losses well in time. Otherwise, if this window of or the opportunity of getting benefited under the scheme goes away, maybe we have cutoff dates for everything, and here in PMFBY also we have cutoff dates for enrollments under the scheme as well. So if this date goes away, farmer does not have any other opportunity or any other chance to get insured under the program. So this message, because mostly the cutoff dates for enrollments are 31st July, so we have sufficient time of maybe 40 days from now to make farmers avail this benefit under the program, get themselves enrolled under the program. So there are a lot of modes and mechanisms and platforms where he or she can get enrolled, as explained by Pallavi also in her session, and Amulya Das also in his session. So this is the time where the participants which are joining us from different parts of the country and needs to carry a message, work with the farmers, go in among us the farmers, talk to the farmer producer organization and all entities who work with the farming community, and help the farmers in their farming advisories and all, to carry a message that the farmers are basically exposed to climatic risks and other natural risks, and there is a solution to take care of their financial risks because of these calamities happening, which potentially may happen. And this solution is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which protect those farmers who are actually doing farming and growing crops against the perils and climatic risks, which brings the potential financial losses to the farmers. So there is a protection mechanism available, and for that, farmer need to approach either the banks or other modes of enrollments and get themselves enrolled and get their crops covered wherever, whatever land area they have cultivated, and whatever crops, if they are notified, they should be covered under Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So this is something which we can carry as of now, because this is a time where we are talking about making awareness and reaching out to the farmers to basically make them aware and make them avail the benefits under the scheme and get enrolled under the scheme. And obviously, Government of India's approach herein is to adopt lot of technology solutions. Few of my predecessors have spoken about having objectivity and transparency in the entire process of operationalization of the scheme. So till now, there were a lot of traditional mechanisms which obviously all the stakeholders are aware of, are basically compromised on account of biasness or maybe the transparency aspect. So we want to address these biases and transparencies and objectivities through technology. So one intervention of technology is introduction of remote sensing based yield estimation. So so as of now, we are not replacing the crop cutting experiments, which are the traditional method of availing yield estimation, but then we are making it a hybrid kind of a mechanism where some of the weightage will come from the crop cutting experiment itself, and the rest of the component will come from the remote sensing technologies, which will estimate the yield. So this is a blending of technology with the traditional methods to arrive at the crop yields, which we think in coming time will grow up to be more objective, more transparent, and less of personal biases or moral hazards coming into this space. Secondly, we also know that weather data is very, very important because Indian farming is mostly dependent upon natural rainfalls and monsoons and very, supportive weather conditions. So weather data and weather information is very, very crucial thing which farmer need to be aware of while planning the cultivations and while growing the advisories needs to be provided to the farmers so that they are well aware, and just to increase the risk resilience also amongst the farmers, or maybe risk mitigation activities which farmer on their own can also take care of. So for this purpose, the government of India will be implementing WINDS project, which is basically installation and setting up of network of automatic weather station and automatic rain gauges across the locations within the country, so that the real-time hyperlocal data, weather data, is basically disseminated to the farmer and put to the best use for agro advisories, creating risk resilience and risk mitigation activities, in addition to using the data for technology-based yield estimation. Apart from this, I think for farmers also, my predecessor has spoken about having DigiClaim. So basically the claim settlement, calculation and settlement through the National Crop Insurance Portal itself, which we have started from Kharif 2022. And I think this brings a lot of transparency and information, real-time information about about the status of the claims, which farmer is always interested to know. And secondly, we are also bringing up an smartphone application for enrollment of farmers very shortly, maybe end of this month. So this application can be used by insurance intermediaries, which are basically insurance companies and their appointed brokers and insurance agents down on the field, who can approach the farmers, or farmer can approach them for enrollment, and they can enroll those farmers under PMFBY. So this is basically an effort to bring the technology at and the opportunity for the farmer at his doorstep. So basically, farmer sitting at his place of comfort can have an opportunity to enroll their crops and their lands under PMFBY and protect for the worst situations which climate and nature may come up with. So I think there are a lot of efforts being made to make the scheme more resilient, more transparent, more objective, and the ultimate goal is basically to reach out to the farmer and maybe bring in the efficiency in service delivery, which is basically a risk protection for the farmers. So with that objective, lot of activities and lot of infusions, largely the technology infusions are being made, and this effort will continue also in the coming years. So I think I'll end my monologue